On the IM Drive is SheInspires. SheInspires profiles inspiring women of our times across all sectors of society. Join us as our distinguished guests share their lives with us, their journey behind the scenes, why they do what they do, life's lessons garnered over the years, their faith, family life and work balance, and so much more. Hello and welcome to SheInspires. SheInspires is an initiative of Sunny TV and SunnyFM celebrating Christian women across all sectors. They are sharing their lives with us, their journey behind the scenes, some unique challenges they may be facing as women in the industry, the family and work-life balance, some major lessons that they have learned. And that's what they get to share with us and so much more on SheInspires. My guest on SheInspires today is none other than the Vice President, Sustainability and External Relations at Newmont Africa, Madam Adiki Ayitevie. Welcome to SheInspires, Adiki.
Thank you, Jennifer.
And I always like to say thank you for accepting our invitation. I know most of the women we're having are quite busy, so thank you for making the time to accept our invitation.
I think it's always good to come and share what you know, so you encourage others to also step up.
So before we get to you being Vice President, I want to know what are some doors that your corporate life has taken you through before we get to you being Vice President?
It's been different doors, and I think each door that I've gone through is what has helped me build to become a better person, but also to prepare me for the role that I've gotten into. So I started with a bit of teaching stints. So while I was in secondary school, after O-level, I taught for a while. And while I was waiting for my A-level results, after A-level, I taught again.
Where did you school?
I went to Wesley Girls High School in Cape Coast.
Lovely.
Yeah. So then went to university. So my original concept was actually to become a head teacher of Wesley Girls High School. I love teaching and I love impacting knowledge. So went to UCC, University of Cape Coast, graduated and did my national service at Accra Girls. So I did teach at Accra Girls. But it was during the national service I realized that I love teaching, but wasn't probably teaching in the academic sense of it. So went back to do my postgraduate and then moved into journalism. So we started Public Agenda. So worked with Public Agenda for about 3 years, moved from there to the Volta River Authority to practice public relations. And then from there to Societe Generale Ghana when Societe Generale bought SSB Bank. And then from there moved to Newmont, starting off as the regional manager for communications and external relations, and then kind of worked through my way and became vice president, sustainability and external relations.
So I think I'm particularly interested in knowing how you went up the ladder, but through all these doors you've walked, did you say you noticed some unique challenges that women like you faced being in the corporate world?
I'd say yes and no. I mean, the unique challenge, if I take, for example, journalism, the unique challenge that would be doing trips, traveling into the hinterland to cover stories, the kind of environment that you'll be. So being a woman, the provision that has been made to cater for you as a woman. But I mean, if you're focused on delivering and focused on doing your work, you manage to work within the circumstance to achieve what you want. The other piece is being able to handle your home life and work life. So when I started, I was staying with my brother, so we had a home we're managing. So cooking, I mean, I came from a traditional background, so I had to cook for my brother, I had to cook for us. I loved eating homemade food, so balancing that, we're working as a journalist and closing sometimes late the next day. So those were things that I learned. Then I was getting into mining and balancing working in an office space, but also going to the mine sites and managing that with your family. Then the last piece will be that you're in an industry that is male dominated, and how do you bring your voice out as a female to be able to stand your ground and show that you're capable of excelling.
So let me take you back to what we're talking about, the family balance and work. How have you played it out so far? How's it worked out for you?
I mean, it's not been easy, but one thing I've learned is you need to plan. I mean, everything you need to plan. So you know you got work and you know you got a family. So I plan for the year. So when the year, I know that this year, this is what is going to be. When do I take my leave, for example? Because I have children.
How many children do you
I have four. Four
Okay.
children, 2 boys, 2 girls.
Right.
So I need to figure out when do I take my leave so that it coincides with the time my children are home on break, so we can have time together. Then I need to figure out, are we going to travel? And we do travel international, but more importantly in Ghana. So travel to Takoradi Cape 3 Points, go to
You've
the...
been to Cape 3
Yeah,
Points.
I've done
such a
that.
lovely
Yeah, I've done
place.
that. I mean, go to the Cape Coast Castle, goes to the Asantenes Palace. So working all that, you got to plan that. So plan for the year. Then I need to plan for the month. So plan in terms of, I get my salary, I need to make my salary work. So how am I going to buy food? So I do wholesale buying. I'd go to Agbobloshi, go and shop. Oh, you're surprised? Yeah, because tomato is cheap, so buy it in bulk, package it, put it in the freezer.
One would not think that someone like you would go to Abubushi, so I could find you at Abubushi.
Oh yeah, sure. You
I'll
will
be
find
looking out
me.
for you the next time I'm also
You will
there.
find me in my jeans and my flip flops.
Awesome.
Bargaining for my yam, for my vegetables, for my tomatoes, for my garden eggs. So yes, I'll do Agbobloshi and buy and store in the freezer.
Okay.
Then I need to think about cooking. So the children have to, my husband has to eat during the week. What do we do? So cook over the weekend, pack them in bowls, put in the fridge. This is what we're having on Monday. This is what you eat in the afternoon. This is what you eat. I mean, you've got
It is all planned out.
It's planned out. I mean, that's how you gotta do, plan it. And then in the morning, take it out and put it in the fridge. So you're having this, and this is the yam. Boil the rice in the rice cooker. So you have to organize yourself. I mean, I have somebody who helps, but that person, I cannot cede my role as a wife and a mother to the person supporting me. So that person works under my guidance, but I need to own my house, like I own my work, and I need to run my house.
So when did you get into Newmont Africa?
So I got into Newmont Africa 2017. So as I mentioned earlier, I started off as the regional manager, communications and external relations. Moved from there into the leadership team, the Africa Regional Leadership Team, starting off as a director, communications and external relations, rose to become senior director, communication external relations. Then my portfolio broadened, and now I was responsible for sustainability and external relations as vice president, and that covers environmental management, social performance, systems and services, site government relations, communications and external relations.
So Adiki, you started off as a regional manager, you've climbed up to now become the vice president, sustainability, external relations. Would you say there are one or two things and values that you would say aided you in climbing up to the top at Newmont Africa?
I mean, one I would say, and I'll put a box, is honesty and humility. Honesty and humility. So being a person of integrity is important. And I always tell people that, I mean, as you, depend on where you sit, you work with people, people feel like I need to give you something to be able to do something for me. No, I don't play by that book. You're capable, you get the work based on your merits. And you do that, hey, it's your game. I'm getting paid for what I do, you're getting paid for what you do. So take your money and earn it. The next time, just deliver. And make sure when you deliver the next time, you're able to get more. So it's that integrity. And then it's respect for your team, for yourself, and those that you work with. And it doesn't matter who you're working with. So I meet the cleaner, I meet the national service person. They are all individuals. Respect them, because they are the ones who are helping you do your work. And if you don't respect them, they can put impediments in your way that impacts them. And when you respect somebody and values what the person does, then the person goes the extra mile to support you, because you're climbing. You cannot climb on your own. You're climbing with the support of others. So if you're climbing and you don't realize that it's somebody who's helping you to do the work that is making you excel, you think it's by your mind. No, it's not. Because, I mean, I'm working with you. I mean, when I was a journalist, I maybe say the editor. But who's doing the stories? I'm not the one doing the stories. So if I don't respect you and value for what you're doing, then we're not going to get good stories. Then for my paper to shine, for me to now become that good editor. So same and the way I work with teams. So if my team are delivering, I'm recognizing that, then I'm able to deliver and achieve my goals and my objectives. So I do well, but they also get the recognition. So that respect, the humility that you don't know everything. You don't know everything, so you need to work with people to be able to do it. And the humility to say that I got something wrong. People should be bold enough to come and tell me that I did not get it right. for me to listen, to say that, oh, yes, I got it wrong. So what do you think I should do differently? So humility, respect, and honesty or integrity is critical. So that's one bucket. Then the other bucket I'm going to is lifelong learning.
Okay.
I mean, you want to progress and you don't want to improve yourself. Hey,
Stay there.
I mean, you stay there. I mean, and I'm always learning. So I've gone to school several times just to be a better person. And if I'm leading somebody, hey, everybody's working, they want to learn something new. Who wants to work with the boss who's giving you the 1926 material? It's like going to lectures and every day you go same old notes.
The same
I mean, that's the point. You go and sit there, it's like, hey, Charlie,
same. Let's just move on.
So deliver value, new things. Every time people are looking up to you. So learn and improve your game. So as you improve your game, then you stay relevant. So if the company changes and now the company says, oh, we're focused on social media, you've learned social media. So when they come to digital media, you are King Kong there. So I'm learning. Lifelong learning.
This is SheInspires, and our guest on SheInspires today is Madame Adiki Ayitevie, and we're having quite an interesting time with her. And I want to ask you, how is it like working in a sector that is generally perceived to be male-dominated? Any interesting encounters you want to share with us?
I think the funny thing is that when I applied, and I always tell people, they ask me, how did you get into Newmont? And I tell them that it was advertised in Daily Graphic, and I applied in Daily Graphic and went for the interview and got it. So sometimes I tell people that, yeah, networking is great, but networking will only take you so far. It's going through the right channels and making sure that you're there on your merits. So I advertised, and I didn't actually even thought of mining as an industry which was male dominated. So I got and realized that yes, it was males. But what I asked myself was, first start from the basis that we're all human beings. So we may sit in different bodies, but are human beings. So the brain is almost the same in terms of your intellectual capability. So if I say that with whatever a man can do, I can do it, probably I can do it better. So that for me was a non-starter. So that was one. The second thing was having an environment that supports. So I'd say that working in Newmont has always been a supportive environment. So there's never been something like, oh, you're female and male. When you're delivering, it's all about performance and delivery. And performance and delivery does not know gender. So for me, that's how I've looked at it. And the company now is building on that block and actually do have an inclusion and diversity strategy and value that everybody should be able to contribute to achieving their business's goal, whether you're male or female. So that's really been what has helped me. But primary is that the brain is the same. The body may be different. The results are the same.
And with this kind of environment you'd say Newmont has created, would you wish to see that across more companies here in Ghana and beyond?
Yeah, I think it's important.
Particularly in Ghana.
I think it's important. One, female population probably slightly more than male. There are a lot of females who can contribute a lot more to society. So how do you harness those skill sets and that power that is there? And so if companies give that opportunity to females, and we are in a society that's, it's hierarchical, but also male driven. So if we're able to bring up our females to know that it doesn't matter what side of the gender they are, they can do that, then the companies are harnessing resources that are out there that they can use to grow themselves. And I think women come with something that males don't have. It's multitasking.
Multitasking.
When you're home, you're cooking, right? Your mother is expecting you're cleaning, you're doing that.
I'm on a Zoom meeting, actually.
Yeah, and as you're doing that, then when you're married, you're managing your family, you're cooking, you're working. So, and if you're even not married, you probably have people staying with you, you're managing. So doing multiple things at the same time is something that can be harnessed. So you bring in that. Then secondly, empathy. And empathy is critical in workplace, that people know that you understand what I'm going through, you're able to bring me along. And women have loads of that. That's how God created us. And then the ability to understand and look at things and look at it holistically from all angles. So if women have those skill sets and you're not bringing them in, who's losing out? You are. So you need to put in those policies.
So does your work take you to the field? Will I find you like both, with the men, with other women on the field? Tell us more about
you see me
outside the office.
You see me in the office. My role is, as I said, I'm responsible for sustainability and external relations for the Africa region. So in Africa, we're in Ghana and Ethiopia. In Ethiopia, we have exploration. So we have teams that we do community relations. We engage with community people. So you need to go there. Here in Ghana, we have two mines and a project. So we have the Achim mine, which is in Durham North District, precisely New Ibrahim, with about 10 host communities. In Ahafo, we are in Ahafo South. We have a mine there, and our mine is one of the largest producing mines in Ghana. And we have 5 host communities. My team is there. Then we have the Ahafo North project that we're currently going through permitting. So my team, as you can see, there are just about 3 or 5 of them that sit in Accra. The rest are in the mines. So you need to go into the field. So you see me in my jeans, my long sleeves, and my boots.
Okay.
And I'm going there in the field. I'm visiting them, going with them into the pits. I'm going down.
You're going into the pits.
Yeah,
How does it feel to be in a pit? Can you help us?
Well, I can go directly into the pits because the machines are there.
Of course.
But standing there, well, there are times I've gone in there to do what we do, a critical control verification. So seeing whether our employees are working according to the procedures that they need to use to make sure we are mining safely. So yes, you may go in there, but it's also you're going into where they're doing that reclamation. So you're going into the field there, you're going into where they're managing water, you're going into where 2 weeks ago I was in the Afro North project. We're going into the bush to see where the mine will be coming out. This is the area which is going to be where the project will be, the main administrative building. This is where our tailings dam will be. This is where the water storage facility. So you got to do that. You have to be in the trenches with your team, so you understand what they're going through, and they can feel like you're part of them, and you can provide them the support that they need if you see that there are challenges that you need to help them to overcome.
So Adiki, as a wife, as a mom, as a woman who's climbed so high up the corporate ladder, how's your faith played out in all of this?
Oh, my faith is fundamental. I'd say that without my faith, I'm not going to be where I am. Because I look at it, and it's funny, I was, this year, one of my journeys this year, my Christian path has been that, get to know God more deeply and His Word more deeply and draw closer. Does that mean I don't draw closer? Yes, I do. I'm close to Him. But there are times that you get to a point where you know that because of career and all the things of life, you're not careful, you're going to lose focus. So each time I take stock and say, how's my journey with God going? And focus. So I was kind of looking at Joshua and talking about, this is the word of God. You need to study the work. You need to meditate on it day and night. Make sure that doesn't depart from you, so that all that you do shall be successful. So that's been one of my fundamental principles, one. The second thing is that be not anxious about anything. That in all things, through prayer and supplications, make your needs known to God. And He that granted understanding will give you understanding that passeth, peace that passeth all understanding. So that is another piece. Then there's Habakkuk, is that the vision is for an appointed time. Though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come to pass. So these are some of the fundamental things that, then I look at Hebrews 11:1, I always take that, what is hope? Hope are the things that you have not seen, but you have assurance that will come to pass. So these things kind of ground me. So no matter what I'm going through, I know that if I follow God's word and I meditate on it, I do what He asks me, then He in turn will bless me. And as He's blessing me, I know that that is His word for me, that He's going to bless me, and that as He's going to bless me, mine is to make sure that I'm not anxious. But every time I'm praying. So even when things don't work out and I see people progressing, I give thanks to God. Oh, thank you for this person. Let it inspire me and motivate me. God, your word says that I am going to be on top and not below, that everything, the vision is there, you're going to take me through. So I just have to trust, pray, and do what I need to do, and you come through for me. That's what is taking me.
So Adiki, when you're not in your boots on the field, and when you're not in the office, what's a day in your life like? What are some of your hobbies I'd find you engaging in?
I love cooking.
Okay.
I love cooking. These days I don't get to cook as much as I love to, but I love cooking. And I cook a storm. My children, when I step in the kitchen, you have 10 dishes going at the same time. So, why do I love cooking? I love cooking, and my children eat them. So, Mommy, we love this food. Can we have some more? My husband saying that, oh, darling, today the food is
It's
Fantastic.
awesome.
So I love cooking. I
Okay.
love reading. I spoke about lifelong learning. So it's always trying to be better than where you are. So I'm vice president. Am I content? Probably yes, probably no. I'm thinking of what's the next challenge ahead. So always studying to show myself approved. That's what the word of God tells us. Study to show yourself approved. 2 Timothy 2:15. So keep learning. And then I like chatting. So I
Okay.
chat with my children. We have fun. We laugh. Sometimes I put on music. We do a bit of dancing in the house. So I chat. I like mentoring and advising people. So those would be the key things that
Talking
I
about
do.
music,
And I
what would you
listen
say?
to music.
Yes. Talking about music, what would you say is the top most on your playlist now?
It's difficult to say that there's one that is on my list. So I listen to Nathaniel that's
Bassey?
a emoji from
MOG.
I listen
Okay.
Be Lifted Up. I know for sure that Say Winers I love, and I mean I love listening to the song Tomorrow. I do so there.
I know that one.
Yeah, so I generally do a lot of, but it's a lot of time depends on what issue I'm going through, the situation that I'm in, and I normally would have a music that kind of will inspire me if I'm feeling down, one that lifts me up. So yeah, I do a lot of gospel. That's the only music I know. So my children sometimes I hear people play music, and this person I don't know who
You don't know
all these
who it
artists
is.
are, and I feel a bit archaic. But I guess
You know what
that's
matters.
what it is.
That's what's important. So Adiki, would you say there are some current challenges you may be facing now, maybe in your work or elsewhere? How are you working these challenges out to to surmount them?
You think that, oh, she's vice president, sustainability and external relations, and everything is being rosy. I can tell you, it's not been a rosy journey, and it's still not a rosy journey. But it's back again, what is your foundation, your faith, that trust in God with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your way. So I've had challenges. So when I started work, you start, and right after university, people have great jobs. And then you start and you've sent out all the applications and no response, zilch response. And you're thinking, gosh, what's all this? You start off work, I worked as a journalist, pay wasn't great, we all know that. We all know that. So hey, shout out to our journalists who did the content and we recognize you. Pay wasn't great, but I looked at it like I was building myself and I was doing something that I loved. So that was how I dealt with it. But as I was going through and I was seeing people rising, you'd ask yourself, well, I went to Wesley Girls, I went to university, I've done a postgraduate. Is this how my life is going to be? Are things going to improve? You know, you're doing hand to mouth. And so that was one of the challenges. But as I sat down and I watched, I realized that whatever I was going through, I mean, I look back and realize it was building me up for the next opportunity. So I tell people now that preparation meets opportunity. So prepare yourself, and when the door opens, you build the skill sets, zoom, you are in.
And go dancing through that door.
Yeah, so that was one. So I've had challenges, and even when I started in every role that I've started, it's been a new job. I prepared myself, the opportunity has come and I've gone in. Now start the palpitations. Oh my God, look at the expectation. Can I do it? So there's fear. But do not let your fear go back. So back again, it tells me that I've not given you a spirit of fear, but of strength, of love. So you go to, so I look at this, I was afraid, could I do it? But I took step by step. It was like a little step, baby step, learn, improve, get somebody say, oh, you're doing great. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm not doing anything.
You did not think you were doing
great.
great.
Oh, okay, I'm saying something well. So those issues are always going to come. I moved into the the Vice President Sustainability and External Relations. I didn't have environmental background. It was a bigger team coming from communications, but again, the fear was there, but it was not, don't let your fear hold you back. You be afraid, but take that bold step and know that God is with you. And then if you're willing to learn and listen to others and work with a team, you go through. So life is not easy. It's not a walk in the park, but understand that you have the challenges, confront it, see where the gaps are, build on it, and take the steps and improve, reflect, and then you get there.
Amidst all the challenges you face, let's say in your workplace, what would you say has been your greatest achievement that you're always so proud to share, to encourage someone with?
My greatest achievement is for me being able to train a team that's been able to step up to take up managerial roles. So when I was in the communications and external relations role, I worked with a team of people. I was a senior director, and they were not even managers. But kind of, I pushed them, and I know initially when I started, they pushed back. I was like, the expectation was too much. I mean, how do you expect us to do this? But I saw something in them. I knew these people, they were capable. It just needed to push them, build their capability, and don't listen to their complaints, because they don't know where you want to take, you want to take them to. So when the door opened and I got into the role of vice president, then the chips fell in place and we were able to get into those roles. And then there are other people that I mentor a lot of. I mean, young people I've mentored, and I've seen them move to take up managerial roles, and it makes me proud. So it's not really about what I have done, but I look at it more about the people that I'm able to take up and bring and set them up, so they build confidence in themselves and become the next generation of women who are also lifting the next generation of women.
Adiki, what would you say are 3 major lessons that you've picked up along the way in life? Can you share 3 major ones with us?
Yeah. First would be, there will be challenges, but don't give up.
Okay.
There will be challenges, don't give up. Learn from the challenges and then move on. You will make mistakes. Don't let your failure stop you from being who you want to be. So if you make mistakes, what was the mistake? What did you learn from it? And move on. Then the other thing is, take feedback. Ask people, how did you get where you were? What am I doing that doesn't work? What have you done that has made you, and build on that. So it'll be, your failure, and learn from your failure and move on. That there are challenges, learn how to overcome those challenges, and then take feedback and learn and move on.
For any young woman who may be watching us, listening, or watching us today, and they're wondering, I want to get to where Adiki is someday, what advice would you give to them?
Oh, my advice is that don't be where I am, be beyond where I am. Don't be where I am, be beyond where I am. And how do you do that? Learn, be willing to learn, be willing to be humble, to know that you don't know it all, because I began my career, I'm almost 27 years into my career, and people want to become me tomorrow. It takes time. They're building blocks. So you build and know where's your foundation, plan your life. So I planned, and I knew I wanted to be. So I didn't know where I was going to be, but I knew that I wanted to be on top. What that top meant wasn't. So every time I looked at and got where I was, then the thing was the next challenge, build on that. So please don't be discouraged. You just started off life, and it's a race. I always tell people that it's a race, but it's a journey. So somebody, when you're running a race, it's like going a 100-meter dash. Somebody's in front of 1,500. It's a long journey race, but we all will come to it. We all will end the race. So when somebody's ahead, don't think that, oh my God, I'm behind. The person is ahead, but probably started the journey before you did. Or the person is ahead because they didn't use the right way, so they seem to be ahead. Then somewhere along the line, you're down and realize that, oh, the foundation was weak. So build your foundation, be inspired by what they are doing, but don't be dampened by what they're achieving. And then map out where you want to be, and then start asking yourself, what am I doing? What do I need? So rule 1, I map that step 1. This is what I need to do. Check. I'm here. What's the next? What's the gap? Am I there? What's not? And so if that's where I want to be, what does it take me to get there? Map your plan, and then do that, and then ask for feedback, so that you build on it till you get there. And then when you get there, then the next plan comes. So yeah.
Planning is coming out a lot in my time with you here, and I'm sure most people are picking up on that also. Yes. So Adiki, in the next 5 years, if SheInspires caught up with you again, who would Adiki be? What would have fight about you?
Well, the next 5 years, God willing, I probably will be in a role, the next level of my role. That's what I look at. The next 5 years, I've been thinking a lot about setting up a business, because I think that, we retire when we are 60, but my brain won't retire when I'm 60, right? There's a lot I think I can give, and there's a lot I can do. So the next 5 years, I'd have set up my business, and I'm running a business, and then the next level of my career will be there. How does that look like? I don't know, but I know that there's going to be a next level of my career, so I'm already working towards that. So understanding what do I need to get there, that's what I'm working on now.
You know what, Adiki, as you mentioned cooking, you got our minds in all kinds of places. One day, would you invite us into your home to taste your cooking,
Sure, but I'm not going to cook.
Okay.
My girls
they are superb. So we're covered.
They do the cooking now, so my girls will be there to show you that the next generation are better than me.
This is awesome. This has been She Inspires, an initiative of Sunny TV and SunnyFM, celebrating Christian women across all sectors. Our guest today has been the lovely Adiki Ayitevie, Vice President, Sustainability and External Relations at Newmont Africa. Adiki, thank you for accepting to be our guest on She Inspires. Thank you so much for joining us. And we know that your story has encouraged someone today to step out and go all out despite whatever challenges they may be facing. So thank you for sharing your life with us on She Inspires. Thank you all for joining us, and catch you same time on the I'm Drive on Sunny 88.7 FM. She Inspires is on at 8:30 a.m. Thank you all for joining us on Facebook as well. Be sure to also catch She Inspires on Sunny TV. I am JJD. Thank you all for joining us. Bye-bye.
On the I Am Drive is She Inspires. She Inspires profiles inspiring women of our times across all sectors of society. Join us as our distinguished guests share their lives with us, their journey behind the scenes, why they do what they do, life's lessons garnered over the years, their faith, family life and work balance, and so much more.